Welcome back to part 2 of our super interesting conversation with John Wiber from News Updates for Real. If you missed part 1, go check it out first. This is a direct continuation as we picked right back up, and we're going to go full throttle into dark elite conspiracy theories, things that the government is hiding, aliens, UFOs, all that stuff. You're not going to want to miss it on this episode of The Disclosure Lounge. Let's jump right in.
The slippery slope with ice is very real. You're already starting to see it bleed out. You're seeing, Kelli, if you look at your phone, I sent you a little clip of a man in Texas having his door knocked on by some ICE agents. He's an American.
I've seen so many videos of people having their doors knocked on.
A certain place, and people showed up at his door.
It's specifically that certain place.
Yeah, it is that certain place. Yeah, it certainly is. Anyway, so at the end of the day, I mean, I saw this. It's like this. It's like this. I cannot help but be an artist first. I've been reading. I've read from when I was 10 till I was 25. Passionate reader. Every novel I ever read that had some sort of secret police in it, guess what? They were the fucking bad guys.
Yeah, you're right.
Hunger
1984.
Games, Lord
George
of the
Orwell,
Rings, for the orcs and Lord of the Rings. No, okay. Well, listen, every single fucking one. Star Wars. Did you cheer for fucking Darth Vader? Like, Darth Vader was cool, but did you cheer for him at the Empire?
I get it.
Sorry, I'm getting a little here, but I really want to make it clear. I'm not anti-law enforcement. I'm a super pro-military guy because my grandpa was part of the Devil's Brigade, and I got nothing but respect for him. I'm a pussy next to that man all day, every day. But it's I don't blame individuals. I blame the system. And right now the system is misguiding a lot.
And that makes sense.
That's how I feel about it. So just to be clear.
I think that you made a good point, though, of what you're saying, to take into context that these are young guys who are getting a good paid salary, and someone's giving them a direct order to go do something.
Yep.
And in law enforcement, when you're told to do something, it's not, we're asking your opinion. Let me tell you about your feelings. Hey, John, why don't we bounce this idea off of you?
No, take it up with HR.
Go fucking kick in that door. Right.
Yeah.
Go get them.
Yeah.
Additionally, I mean, it's presented to them in a patriotic way, and they feel like they're doing something great, probably for
that's true. Listen, this is what they do. They will take our best intentions, our best morals. You want to be patriotic, you want to support your family. Well, here's your option. And they leverage our best traits to make us the worst versions of ourselves.
Yeah. And I think with this too is that I think they are going after some legit criminals, some sex offenders, people that need to be deported. They shouldn't be, they need to be either in jail or not in our country. And I get that. But I think the problem is that, it's kind of like the old bull versus a young bull. Have you heard that analogy?
Yeah, but give me a refresher on it.
All right. So the old bull and the young bull are on top of a hill. They're looking down at a bunch of cows. And the young bull says, hey, there's some cows. Let's go fuck them. And
this is not where I thought this was going to be going.
Yes. So the young bull says, hey, let's run down there and fuck them. And then the old bull says, hey, why don't we walk down there and fuck them all? And that's what needs to happen with ICE. Is it's not, let's just flood the fucking streets and kick down every door before we do any research of who's in there and make sure we're getting this right. I feel like they're so focused on the numbers that they're screwing up, making dangerous mistakes, not using good tactics, where they should just slow it down and say, all right, who's our priority of the day? Oh, it's John. He's a pedophile. He's blah, blah, blah. All right, let's go track him down. And then let's choose the time when we want to take that fight to him, not when a bunch of people are surrounding him. Let's go sneak in his house at 3 o'clock in the morning, knock his door down.
Well, and there it is, Cameron. And they have the capability. They have the capacity to do these things.
You're telling me, but that's poor leadership.
With the Big Brother established systems within our societies. How you're telling me they can't just like track the guy right to his fucking house and go get him?
They absolutely can.
They
Yeah.
absolutely can.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is that if you're going after that one guy for the day, it's a lot different tactics than saying, okay, I've got a list of 100 and we're just, it's like they're running a speed trap when these are, dangerous missions that they're going on. So, like,
I would just say for good measure, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. That's a good literary one. I like to say I'd be remiss. No one ever knows what the fuck I mean, Kelly. Anyways, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that I'm so glad we've apprehended all these dangerous criminals. How many people from the Epstein list have been arrested, by the way?
We're moving on to the Epstein list next. That's a good segue.
You know what's funny is I do this and I don't mean to, and people say, "Oh, he's Illuminati," because I'm doing the.
Yes.
But you know what's funny? You know what? Can I jump in here, Kelly?
Yeah.
Can I just jump in? This is a perfect segue for it, and I this is kind of why I wanted to wear the fancy. I mean, I have my free Luigi shirt right here, guys.
Yes.
I have the free Luigi shirt. Cancelclothes.com. Also, the shirt Kelly's wearing right now.
We will put a link to that. Yeah.
All my homies hate Bill Gates. I mean, if you know, you know. So look,
don't forget before we move forward.
Oh hell yeah! Look at that
USA shirt.
Do you know that's actually a sharp shirt too? That's a nice looking hood.
It does look good. I want to get one.
We've been putting a lot of work into it.
I think I'm going to get one too. I really like that.
Kelly, I'll send you one. Just send me.
Okay.
Look, I worry. I mean, I worry about people's states of mind and being able. We are being bombarded with so much information and so much just grim kind of revelations. But I think at the end of the day, I think we all got to take a step back and like just kind of reassess. It's kind of like what ICE should do is take a step back, fucking refocus, pick out the deranged, delusional shit, the AI slop, the straight rage bait, and focus on what is actually what was promised and what's been delivered. The no war president, the Epstein list, right?
Exactly.
These things have been turned out to be lies. What about do you remember his speech, Cameron, that Trump gave about freedom of speech and how it is a keystone to democracy?
Oh, absolutely.
Remember that? Yeah. That was the night he gave that speech. I endorsed him. Do you know that 3 months ago he sat before a committee and said, well, maybe they don't deserve to have freedom of speech. He said that. People should be fucking so betrayed. And I think a lot of them are. And I think that's why my growth has continued. I am a conspiracy theorist, but I'm the first to tell some of my peers that they're nuts and they need to like calm the fuck down and take a deep breath. And we got brains that were made for hunting and picking berries, dealing with an onslaught of information.
Yeah, but we need to do more of that. We need to do more hunting, picking berries, hiking.
That's what I mean by taking a step back. Kelly, if I could actually say what I mean, I actually think we should throw all our phones in a lake and go live off grid.
Yes. No, I agree. I mean, everybody does need to take a step back, assess your priorities. What's real?
What's real? What's real?
Yeah. And we all really do want the same thing. We love our families, our friends, our loved ones. Yes. We need to kind of, I don't know, slow down and think about all of that.
That's it. I think
you know what you're saying about Trump.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny about him that I've noticed throughout his time is that he tends to he speaks with no filter, which is sometimes good.
Sometimes.
But he also will blow something up, like say the most extreme thing, knowing that assuming that he's knowing that he's going to try to get somewhere in the middle, kind of like with Greenland, where he's like, it's going to be the 51st state.
Yeah, and there is apparently like an agreement that's been made. He listen, at the end of the day, he may go down as a pretty good negotiator because he is so absurd and fucking You know
what? It works.
Like crazy.
That's
but
the
like
thing
saying
about
you're going to invade a country that's never been done before, like
Yes,
as a
the people-
negotiation tactic in the way that he's doing it, right? So it is. Maybe he is a fucking genius, but I will say this: I really don't care what he says or does until the Epstein list gets released.
So you know what's really funny about that? Do you want to play this clip?
Yeah, let's play this clip.
Okay.
Release the list. Jack, should they release the list? Jack's sick of this shit. Release the fucking list.
Wouldn't it be crazy if there's an email that was discovered in the Epstein files that suggests Jeffrey might have gotten reconstructive facial surgery?
Release the files.
Release the list.
Use it with my...
Release the list.
Gee, it seems like people from all over the world want you to release the fucking list.
Here's a picture of Epstein and Trump joking about selling depreciated women to each other. And of course, we've got the letter from Donald Trump himself to Jeffrey Epstein. I'll let you take a look there. More proof. It's staring you right in the eyes. When are you going to wake up and fucking do something about it? Have a good day.
Yeah, so Trump promised he ran on this. He was going to release the Epstein list. And what has happened? I mean, 90% redacted list.
Sure. Well, they've released 1% of all the files they have. So
Yeah.
far.
Right.
You know what's my theory on this?
That is a lot of files. Like that's a lot of files.
It's
but like,
a lot of files.
I
I want to talk about the redacted part of it too.
We haven't seen any of the juicy stuff yet. Think about that. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, and I think that goes to
stuff.
Like both sides are going to be fucked.
The whole system is cooked. The whole system.
Blow it all up. I am ready for this. That's the only thing that's going to save the world right now. I think. Blow it up.
I'm going to give you a theory here.
Fixing.
Yes.
I actually agree.
Yes.
So I think that a way that they've gotten around some of their questions is that everyone asks for a list. You know, an actual like physical list.
There's no list.
Right.
There is no list. Yeah, no, I agree.
But that reminds me of like some shit that, you know, lawyers I've dealt with in the past would do, like,
big time.
You know, we don't have an actual like Excel spreadsheet. We've just got, you know, a million files.
Just tons of files.
Here's a U-Haul truck full of fucking files to go through. Yeah.
Oh, we've just got these Polaroids of like him with Bill Gates. That's not a.
Well, listen.
Not
do
what
you
you
guys want to hear something? And I'm so excited, Kelly. I'm so happy you brought Cameron on because I feel like it's kind of cool to have a cop to like bounce stuff off of.
Yes, it's great. I love that perspective.
Have you guys ever heard of the octopus conspiracy?
Yes.
No,
yeah,
I have not.
But
there's a documentary on it.
Robert Maxwell's involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Maxwell was an advocate for the Promise software. That is in South. So the Danny Castellero discovered that DOJ essentially stole this spy software, which you could call the Charmander of Palantir. Like this was the origination of mass surveillance software. This was back in the 80s. It was called Promise. So the DOJ contracted this company, it was owned by Bill Harrison, and they just stopped paying him. So then the company went bankrupt, and then they took the software. Don't you love that? Oh,
it's so laughable.
They
but
just
predictable.
do whatever they want, and it goes so deep.
Move.
Yeah.
So Robert Maxwell was a part of this and was a part of the Promise software. He was a part of the lobbying of it. What is Promise software, you ask? Well, Edward Snowden leaks revealed that it is a software that was sold to foreign countries, but it backdoors them. So the CIA, the NSA has just been taking their data for decades. Now, Danny Castellero unalived himself by cutting his wrist 20 times, and his book disappeared conveniently the night he died. And he told his brother, if anything happens to me, it was not an accident. So you tell me, as a police officer, Cameron, what do you think about all that? And the fact that Epstein ties into that is like I'm starting to think we're dealing with something way, like I don't even think Epstein was even, I think this whole thing is way more even connected than we want to realize. And when you say the whole system will go down, you're 100% right. Because I think Epstein is the system. And like Castellaro is Castellaro was killed for trying to expose this, 30 fucking years ago. And they fucking killed him. you know, and now here we are, and people are more aware than ever, but still we're just moving forward towards the inevitable 100-year cycle. You know, there's never been a 30s since capitalist democracies were the main government of the world. There's never been a 30s that didn't have a Great Depression.
I think it all needs to be exposed. I think it all needs to come out. All of it needs to blow up. There needs to be a great reset, because unless you blow people's minds with this information, nobody's going to care. No one's going to believe it. Like Thomas Massey was talking a few months ago about certain people who he didn't name names, but he was talking about certain people who were on the list. There's not a list, but in the files anyway.
He gave a couple names, I remember.
Well, he said a magician, a top-rated music producer, stuff like a magician. Oh my God, that just killed me. Who is that? Obviously, is it David Copperfield? Or is it David Blaine, or is it Chris Angel?
Chris Angel, mind freak. Yeah. You ever seen the clip of him being like, "Hey, I'm going to teach you how to scam $4 from your friends"?
Right? No. No. I think it probably goes back to Copperfield though, that because it's older people in the 80s and stuff. But yeah, it's all got to come out. But I don't think anything's going to come of the Epstein files. I don't think they're ever going to come out. I don't think we're probably going to learn.
We know what it is at this point. I think we're all well aware of it.
We know. Yeah. It's not good. So
Kelly, what do you think? Who do you think Epstein was? What was that? Who was Epstein?
I think he was a normal guy, but turned Mossad agent. I think he was trained in all that stuff. He was great at networking. He infiltrated all these networks and had unlimited funds to do whatever he wanted. He got these elites to come with him to engage in horrible activities. I think it was probably so they would have dirt on them and be able to control them. That's what
you ever see what Julian Assange said about?
No, what?
Julian Assange said, "You'll never see the Epstein files because that would mean that the CIA and the FBI would have to give up on the decades worth of blackmail that they had put in place." And
I think it's all about the
blackmail. Well, at the end of the day, when I talk about Mark Carney earlier, we'll go back to this real quick. Like Mark Carney's wife was good friends with Ghislaine Maxwell, and there are pictures of them together. You cannot escape this thing. So when I bring up Danny Castellaro's The Octopus, I think that is a great analogy for it. These fucking tentacles are everywhere.
Yes,
they're fucking everywhere.
It's a good analogy, and it's literally the 1% of elites because they're all
connected by
like
it at this
that.
point.
Yes.
Well,
exactly.
And it's like we were talking about before, where how once you get into Congress, you stay in Congress and become a, multi-millionaire instantly, where everyone in that circle or club does not have an incentive to release any of this. And that's something they can find common ground.
Oh, and it's like the cop thing too. And I mean, I watched The Wire. I have some very good friends of mine that were in the Army and in cop in law enforcement. So like when you're talking about ICE and how it's building, it's because humans are tribal. So I like to look at things like, have you watched The Wire, Cameron? Can I ask you? Yeah. Fantastic. Is that the best cop show ever made?
I don't know about, what I liked? The Shield, which is actually based on a true story as well.
That's a Canadian actor. Okay. So look, so The Wire, it shows like what I took from The Wire when I watched it is just that everything is a gang. Political parties, it's a gang. The police, it's a gang. A gang is a gang, right? But it's all like, so you dig in, like, what's happening right now with ICE is exactly what they intended to do, because it's making those that support it dig the fuck in, and those that hate it dig in, and then you have just pure, beautiful, exploitable division, unbridled, unadulterated division, and that's what I worry about. But it's also human nature to be like, it's like even a hockey team. A hockey team's a gang. I played hockey growing up. Obviously, look at me. right? But so like, so like my hockey team, I would ride or die for those boys back when we played together. Even funny enough, even today I would probably if I saw one of my hockey team members in trouble.
Did you ever get hazed? Right? Did you get hazed when you were younger? Because that's the whole thing.
I was one of the guys that got hazed.
No, did you do the hazing?
We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, nothing too horrible. We made the one guy get naked at the rookie party. It's all fun and games.
Yep.
All right. I definitely didn't just go take a pee. So here, this is what's going on, guys. I remembered what I was trying to say earlier to close out the whole ICE conversation. I've been lucky enough to partner with Brett Pike, classical learner, and I'm teaching an English class to about 180 kids, high school age from 10 to 16. So right now we're doing Animal Farm. And one of the kids, I asked the kids, what do the dogs remind you of? What do the dogs remind you of in Animal Farm? And one kid said, oh, they remind me of ice. And I said, that's bang on, son. I said, that's bang on. So that's my concern. That's the root cause. When you see me getting so passionate about my concerns with the broad scope and the no oversight, that's what I'm talking about. And it's good to see that the youth of America, and I will say the 180 kids I'm teaching, they're all Americans, and they are very in tune, and they are way smarter, I think, than I was at that age. So I actually, for the first time in a long time, I'm starting to have hope again. I mean that. So teaching has been a great evolution of what this chaotic universe has handed to me. So, having said that, that's where the root cause of this all comes from, Cameron. Just so you understand, like. Oh no,
and I think that's a good point, and I completely understand that, and I think that this has definitely gone sideways, and I think your comment about taking a step back and reevaluating what's going on, what are your real priorities.
Yes.
And, ultimately, like, okay, if this is our mission, how are we going to accomplish it, and actually plan it out step by step, and not have this expectation where we're trying to get, whatever the number is of people out of a country in one swoop. It's not going to happen.
Just like any business that gets obsessed with the numbers ends up becoming a soulless business.
Right.
There
and like I said before, I think this needs to be done with, surgical precision and not a hammer. And I think right now they're using a hammer.
Boom. Bingo.
Speaking of Animal Farm, that and 1984 are on my reading list for 2026. Okay. I read Animal Farm and 1984 when I was in like middle school.
Can I throw this one down for suggestion?
Yes, one too. Yes,
another good one.
Yep, for sure. Like those are great books to read right now, to revisit classics that we should all. There's a lot of applicable.
Can I give you
stuff.
one more tidbit too from the class?
Yes.
Today we were talking about Molly, and we were talking about Squealer. Now these are some deep cut references to characters in Animal Farm, but Molly was considered the bourgeois class that when George Orwell wrote it. One of the kids goes, "She's an influencer," and I went, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "She is totally. That is what she is." And I was like, "Influencers didn't exist when George Orwell wrote this." But here it is being more relevant than ever. And this is what I said. The first class I started with these kids, Kelly, I go, if you understand English and you read literature, you have a superpower because you can predict the future and you can see things that are going to happen that have happened already. And, I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of just seeing the response and everything from these kids. But we're living in Animal Farm. We are living on fucking Mr. Jones's farm right now, guys.
It's so cool to go back to those classic pieces of literature in the times that we're in now.
And I don't think it's an accident that my generation is the last generation that really read a lot. That really read books. Even my generation, I go on dates with girls now. I ask them, what's the last book you read? They go, I don't read. But they don't say it like they're embarrassed, Kelly. They brag about it. They say, oh, I don't read. I don't have time for that. And I look at them like, okay, so this is going to be a one date thing.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Well, I'll tell you a book they should read, and that's A Murder on Campus, A Professor, a Cop in North
Gotta
Carolina's
give that
Most
plug.
Notorious Cold
Get it.
Case.
Yes.
Get it. Get the
Written
murder.
by my brother, Brian Santana, and myself. And that's available anywhere you can buy a book. And John, I'll send you a copy if you would.
If you send me a copy, bro, I will do a full review of that. I got a whole new channel I just started where it's more light, it's art, it's food, it's working out. I would love that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, the three of us are published authors. John's got 3. You've got Murder on Campus. I have 3. Now mine, I do not listen. Go buy my book. Definitely go buy my book. Is it a good book? I mean, it's a published book. So, and just you want to support me, so go buy my books.
Go buy your book.
But they're basically just episodes of my podcast turned into chapters of books. So
your podcast, True Crime Sleep Stories.
Oh, I love that. That's
yeah.
excellent.
See, that's a little business side hustle tip I have for anyone with a podcast. If you have, several episodes of your podcast out, they can be transcribed and you can turn them into chapters of a book.
Right.
So
Yeah.
everybody out there with aspirations to publish a book, just turn your podcast into a book and you can make money off of that.
At the end of the day, Kelly, I love this. I love jumping on it. This has got to be one of the funniest. This is a artistic, political debate podcast brought to you by Kelly, Brink, and Cameron.
Yeah.
But
you know what? It's gonna go into even more rabbit holes. We've got.
You know what? I'm gonna shut the hell up. Take.
No, you're good. You are.
I forget what I was gonna say. Tell me where we're going next. Where do you want to go next in this tumultuous sea of society?
You were talking about the classical learner program that you're working on. What do you think about the current state of public education and our school systems and what I personally can tell you, I feel like there's a lot of, obviously indoctrination of children at a young age. And I think it starts with daycare. And the daycare starts back to the feminist movement because, 2-income households put your kids in daycare, then they're in the institution right off the bat at 6 weeks old. So, but what do you think?
I would homeschool my kid if I had a kid right now.
Yeah.
Is that's like the most crisp way I could get into my issues with it. I just, why wasn't I taught about the pyramids properly? These are questions that I have. Like, why? Let me ask you this. Like, I mean, do you think the pyramids are what we've been told they are?
Absolutely not. But I think the aliens was actually made on the pyramids.
Our list.
Was it really? Because that's my favorite thing to go down. Because I think it's the most clear. When I try and break someone from the fucking matrix,
yes,
not to get dramatic with it, but I like to ask them, like, what do you think the pyramids were? And they say, well, there were tombs. I was like, do you know they've never found a carcass in any pyramid?
Yes.
They've never actually found a corpse in any one of them. So they weren't tombs. Did you know there were signs of electrical current inside the pyramids?
Yes.
Did you know the pyramids have signs of flooding on them? When's the last time Egypt had water? Well, it was 13,000 years ago during the Younger Dryas. So those pyramids have been there for tens of thousands of years, and I believe they were power plants. And
I totally agree with that.
I think there's a reason they don't teach us that. It's because they don't want us to know that energy's fucking free. So
I agree with you.
I guess that's partly why, I don't think it's the teacher's fault. I support teachers in the same way I support police. You guys are being asked to do an unbelievably tough job with a shit ton of responsibility.
So hard, yes.
Which is a thankless job. When you do good, no one says anything. It's only when you fuck up, right, Cameron? Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Like when you're doing a great job as a teacher, no one says anything because that's how it's supposed to go. When you do a great job as a police officer, no one says anything because that's just how it's supposed to go. But when you fuck up, oh, baby, you will get the wrath of the left or the right or both or one or the other. The one will make you a GoFundMe. The other will try and kill you. I'm just saying, it's all so... Oh, I'm so sorry. It's just
that's okay.
It's also... We're all fighting for the same things. I think you guys alluded to this earlier, and that's, again, what it breaks my heart to watch people fighting about the same things, you know?
Yeah. It's deep in the institution, though. Like, again, I agree with you. Teachers are for the most part, great.
Sure. No, you don't have to lie. Some teachers, there's the teachers, these were present in my day that just hate kids. And I'm like, why are you a fucking teacher? If
well, you know what happens is
so much, like it's just
so when I was a kid, okay, there was probably autism and ADHD and things like that, but nobody had a diagnosis for that. They were just the problem kid. And I remember one boy, I mean, he was, okay. But he was brilliant and sweet, but he was off the rails, like so much energy, always getting in trouble. And my teacher, this was probably 2nd or 3rd grade, she did threaten. She was like, I am going to bring a refrigerator box into the classroom and put it in the corner and make you sit in it all day long. And that's going to be where your desk sits. And that's what she said. And I was like, okay, that was just one thing. Like I've had a lot of questionable teachers. So, there are some great teachers. There are some, maybe people who shouldn't have gone into education.
Yeah, and I think that the problem, at least in North Carolina where I am, is that the teachers' pay just sucks.
Yeah.
And so the good teachers, they get hired off to do something else. Not to mention, I worked in a school as a school resource officer for 3 years. And very first day, you would have teachers crying in the hallway.
Wow.
Because the kids were talking crap to them. Yeah, the teachers would be crying in the classroom and you would have to, console them and tell them, don't show fear to the enemy type of thing. I completely agree with John where I am. I think you're better off trying to get your kid into private or homeschool.
Yeah. I was a substitute teacher for 3 years and it's really hard. I saw some crazy stuff that was like, I did not really agree with, but
right. And the piece of that is that, do you want your kid to learn how to deal with those experiences and different types of people? And like there's gangs in the school, but there's gangs outside of life too,
right?
Or outside of school too.
And there's bullies and there's always going to be people who just suck overall.
Right.
And you have to develop a thick skin and learn how to deal with that too. I agree.
Or crappy teachers.
But let's get into something that's a little more fun and lighthearted, which is the conspiracy theories. You do a little bit of everything on your social media channels, but one thing that I love is when you bring up a good conspiracy theory. And do you have the adrenochrome clip? Okay, so
y'all ever heard of adrenochrome? I found we got ourselves here a Funk and Wagnall's New Practical Standard Dictionary, and this is from 1956. Here's what they say about the pineal gland. We don't know what function this serves. Frazzle, drip, Hillary Clinton, all that weird shit. Allegedly. What's that say there? Grinding adrenal cortex glands. That's interesting. This adrenochrome dictionary story is getting weirder. It is known to be a rudimentary organ supposed to be used in sight, and it goes on to say, to be a vestige of a dorsal median eye. But if you look here, and call me crazy, the second thing there, it seems like it's saying like your third eye. So the pineal gland was known as the third eye. They had adrenaline, and if you look at the definition of adrenaline, it says it's generated by the pineal gland.
The adrenochroming of children. Essentially, you have adrenaline in your body. I'll just simplify it. And when you are scared, you produce adrenaline. If you're an athlete, you get in the fourth quarter, you have adrenaline that comes out of you. If a child knows he's going to die, his body will secrete this adrenaline. It's the worst horror I've ever seen, is screaming alone, even if I never, ever saw it. A lot of people that are involved in it all over the world that are in this. And many of these people are very famous.
I had to look up a little bit about the adrenochroming. You've got the book right there. So,
just so you guys know it's real. Yeah,
I know, but you talk about this with anyone who hasn't been red pilled yet or whatever, and they're like, you are out of your mind. So tell me a little bit about like adrenochrome and how it ties into the elite and a lot of the people we've talked about who are probably on the Epstein list.
Yeah, sure. Look, so I brought up, I just want to address this quick at the gate. Like, so that whole so the last clip you played of that fella, he's talking about frazzle drip, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's real. How could I ever know that? But
I
I'll tell
think
you
it's
what I know.
real. Let's
Well,
talk
just with
about it.
the AI society, digital world we're living in. And you got to understand, if we're seeing it now, they had it 20 years ago. DARPA is 20 years ahead of us, at least when it comes to tech.
Yeah.
So they've had that capability for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say Hillary Clinton isn't an awful, evil bitch. She is.
Right.
She is.
Yeah.
But look, so what I'm saying is, the first time I ever heard adrenochrome was a little movie called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And it is a pivotal scene in that movie where right after Hunter S. Thompson's lawyer has abducted, drugged, and raped a young girl, he gives Hunter S. Thompson some adrenochrome. And then the following scene is very weird and trippy, and it talks about how it is taken from the living human pineal gland. So we've talked about it. We alluded to it earlier, how Hollywood likes to kind of just show us what they're doing, right? Very blatantly and very right to our faces, because they're like, there's no way they'll believe this is real. And so you played a clip there where I show a picture. Now that picture I found deep in the internet using the Wayback Machine. It was a Reddit post from a person who claimed to have worked at the what is it?
Are you harvesting adrenochrome in your house right now, John?
My kid's friend is playing Minecraft. And actually, it's kind of hilarious that is like, isn't that a cosmic affair? No, look, so, it's called Patronage, not Patronage. I can't remember the name, but it's a city in Michigan. It starts with a P. There was a Pfizer warehouse.
Portage. It was Portage.
Portage. Yeah, it's Portage.
Yeah.
I said it Portage because
yes.
I'm Canadian. And that's a French Canadian in me.
Yes.
Portage, Michigan.
Yeah.
Had a Pfizer factory in it. And in between the cafeteria and something in the hallway outside the caf, there was a poster, which you showed in that clip there, but it says adrenal cortex harvesting. This was in the Pfizer building. Why? And then so to get to this, so in this fucking big old dictionary from 1956, they say we don't know what function the pineal gland serves. But so it's crazy what the internet does, Kelli? Because when you build a community like we've built, it's a symbiotic thing. Like I grow from them, they grow from me. So someone sent me a dictionary from 1942.
Yeah.
And it was in there. The definition of pineal gland is way different.
Yeah.
They knew way more about it in 1942 somehow than they did in 1956.
Well, in 1956, they were trying to maybe erase history.
Maybe
now,
maybe
now with the internet, nobody can erase history because
That's why they're going to take it from us. That's why they're going to take it from us.
Yeah. Exactly. That's
well, you look
true.
at the laws. Look at the Australia laws. Under 16, you can't access social media anymore. You know, the UK has locked up more people than China and Russia combined for making social media posts over the last couple years. So they will come for our internet soon.
Oh yeah, I'm really afraid of that actually. Yeah. So that's why we don't want to do digital ID or anything like that.
Exactly.
But okay, but rewinding the adrenochrome thing, the premise behind this is that the elites, because there's a reason why they do this supposedly, and it is to make them younger, give them more vitality and beauty and energy and power and things like that. So there's this, it is a conspiracy theory. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but it also ties into like Satanism and religion and things like that as well. So that's kind of
inevitably it does tie into that. I mean, it goes back to stem cells. I mean, these things are not. It's like I said, they don't hide these things. I mean, do you know stem cells are used for the same purposes? And if you want to get into stem cells and foreskins and what Oprah
yeah,
you gotta go.
All of that. Did you know?
You know that Oprah will pay $10,000 for a circumcised foreskin to put in hand cream. You knew
I
that?
I did know that because
Hold on, I've never heard this before.
Oh,
yes,
listen to
it's
this.
true. It's true.
And Sandra Bullock has
Yes.
openly admitted this on the Ellen DeGeneres show. Like they talked about this it's like a facial, it's this procedure they have done on their face, and it's from the foreskin of circumcised babies.
You can just Google, do they use foreskin and hand cream, and it will just say yes.
So they like lined it up and
yes, all of that.
Yes. It's a and you know, talk about rabbit holes. It's just like the worst hole to go down.
I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. And so that
I
begs
learned something today.
Yeah. But that begs the question, is that part of the reason why circumcision is so heavily pushed in America and it's not in other countries?
when I remember, like I said, I'm a sports guy. So I've been in locker rooms, so put it that way. So it was always told that we always made fun of the non-circumcised guy because what we were taught, and this is a perfect kind of this ties in. Believe it or not, everyone, just stick with me. This ties in. We were told they did that for a health reason back in the day because it was easier to clean your shaft if you were circumcised.
I mean, that's true.
Well, they say it's not true anymore. They don't even
I think
say
they're
that
lying.
anymore. It's like they've totally switched. Like nowadays, the recommendation, and I'm
don't circumcise.
Correct. That is now the recommendation. It's just like it's the same way they go. Do you know that in the 90s they outlawed paper bags and installed plastic bags in grocery stores? Do you know that?
What was the reason for that? Convenience?
Because of the fucking environment.
Oh, yes, because they were trying to save trees. They were trying to save
we've
trees.
Literally switched.
Yeah.
It's just that sort of thing. It's just like they're like, let's see if anyone even notices that
That
we're
is such
literally
a
just
good
making it up. One decade we're gonna say that circumcision is healthy. The next decade we're gonna say that it's child abuse. And we're just gonna see if everyone goes crazy enough not to notice that we're out here harvesting adrenochrome and stealing all your tax dollars. Like I don't know.
And foreskin.
And foreskin.
Stealing tax dollars, stealing foreskins. Oh boy. Well,
that sounds so crazy, but the crazy shit that people will do, it doesn't surprise me.
Not at all.
I'm learning something today.
Yeah.
I got you, Cameron.
Yeah. So you talk a lot also on your social media about aliens. So let's play the aliens clip, Cameron. It's very short.
Today in the world of what the WTF may, weird shit in the skies. Strange shit in the skies. I don't know. Intergalactic warfare? Star Wars? Project Bluebeam? Legit aliens? Glitch in the simulation? I mean, all of these options seem just as valid as the next at this point. Wouldn't it be crazy if the CIA released documents, like on Christmas Day, saying that there were aliens and pyramids on Mars? Yeah, so secret files reveal pyramids and people were on Mars way back, decades ago. Hidden deep in the declassified CIA files is Mars Exploration, May 22nd, 1984, a project aiming to uncover Mars mysteries. Wouldn't it be crazy if the CIA agents used astral projection in order to see what was going on Mars? For anyone unaware, earlier this year, the CIA released a file saying that astral projection is real and we're pretty much living in a simulation. Just accept it, let's move on. A participant described large pyramids on Mars. And they encountered very tall, thin people, giants, Nephilim, who knows? And apparently these Anunnaki individuals fled Mars. This was all part of Project Stargate.
Have you ever seen a UFO?
Yes, I saw one. Well, I don't know if it's UFO, but I saw an orange orb over the ocean in New Brunswick. Roughly about 8 months ago. I'm gonna say, it was probably about closer to a year ago. It was probably right around now. It was a winter night. I was living in these tiny homes. It's a shed, but it's been like
love a tiny home.
It's been it's been put into like it's got a kitchen, it's got the bunk bed up top. So I kind of was on like a weird. I thought I was going to be traveling America, and then all these things happen. So
you don't have to explain it. I would live in a shed today. Like I would totally live in a shed.
So it was right on the ocean, Kelly. It was so cool. Me and my dog. So long story short, we were walking along the Atlantic Ocean the one night, and there was a red orange orb in the sky. I posted it on my Patreon. It moved, it left, and it wasn't a star. So I don't know what you call that. I mean, but I think those orbs are like super widely seen. Have you guys ever seen any of these things yet? That's the one thing I've seen for sure. And I know it wasn't an airplane, but
I have not. I haven't seen one, but I mean, I read a lot of stuff about the UAPs, and I am a member of Americans for Safe Skies and stuff. So I'm like trying to learn more about this. And I mean, it's a widespread phenomenon, but I just don't know if
it's just so funny, Kelly. I spent my whole life. I grew up on the X-Files.
Yeah.
By the way, the writer of the X-Files, Vince Gilligan, he wrote Breaking Bad. He also predicted 9/11. Did you know that?
No. Was it another predictive programming thing?
Yeah. So he wrote a show called The Lone Rangers.
Okay.
And, you remember the X-Files? Remember Mulder's 3 conspiracy buddies, the weird guys? I
didn't really watch X-Files.
Okay. Yeah. So they made a show about those guys. Their pilot episode was about the plot of the episode was that a group of American politicians fake a terrorist attack in which they fly a drone into the Twin Towers to justify a war in the Middle East for oil.
Wow.
You want to know the date that came out? It was like
9/11.
It was 3 months before 9/11.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's all verifiable. It's called The Lone Rangers pilot episode. Everyone listening.
Okay, I'm writing it down because just like the Snake Eyes thing with the Charlie Kirk, all of that.
That's another, crazy.
Yeah, it's none of this is a coincidence.
Is there a chance that there's just been so much art and so many stories told that inevitably one of them will come true?
No. There's no chance.
There's no chance, Kelly. It's funny. I try and present these devil's apricot, I like to call it, but like they never. It's like I'll be like, is there a chance like I'm delusional and the government's just telling the truth? I'll say this to like people, and they'll just look at me and they're like, no,
there's no chance. I've started running. I've actually started running these coincidences through Grok. And I put all the things in, and even a few things that have personally happened to me, and I like put it in, and I'm like, what are the statistical chances of all of these things lining up and happening? And it's like 1 in 100 billion or something like that. I'm like, well, then how? Like, how is that? It's not a coincidence.
Impossible.
To play devil's advocate when you're having these big events like that, I do think that it's harder to wrap your head around that guys in caves that wear sandals and poop outside would be able to formulate a plot with very rudimentary tools to be able to take down the 2 biggest towers in the U.S.
I think it's even more than that. I mean, I think any human, no matter whether they shit in a cave or in a toilet or, the chest of a Saudi Arabian prostitute while Dubai, I don't really care. Any human's capable of something, but I don't think anyone's capable of, making Tower 7 fall down without anything hitting it.
Tower 7 did not Epstein itself.
It did not Epstein itself. But but having said that, I think to build on what you're saying, Cameron, though, is that it's hard for people to accept the sheer capacity for cruelty in a human. And I think a lot of people like to say that's where some of these conspiracies come from. And they want to blame, sometimes they blame reptiles, sometimes they blame certain people from a certain country. But it's because they don't want to think that one of their own could do these things. And I'm sorry to be the bearer of like grim realizations, but like every human's capable of like really awful things.
Oh, absolutely.
Capable of beautiful, selfless. Some of the reason I keep fighting is because every day I'm reminded in the littlest ways that humans are beautiful fucking compassionate, complex creatures, and I'm down for the fight. But it's,
you know,
it's when we disregard those things, and when people forget the fact that all of us just want a fair chance for a decent life, and like, whether, so I'm just done with the lies. 9/11, in my opinion, was a lie. JFK didn't get killed by Lee Harvey Oswald, and once we address these things, and that's not even getting to the Epstein files. Like, I want to address these things because they have not been fucking addressed. So before we invade another country, and I say we in the broad we, the proverbial we, I mean, NATO is a thing, or was a thing. It is a thing for now. We'll see how long it lasts. But NATO, like, we are tied together. Me and you, our countries are tied militarily, right? So whatever happens is happening to both of us in one way or another. So I just would love to get us all, before any of us in NATO invade another country, let's just get this all sorted. Let's get the full Epstein list. Let's find out why the CIA killed JFK, because I'm not even asking who killed him anymore. I know the CIA killed him. So it's like let's address these things. Then we can let's put a pin in the racist thing, the trans thing, all these stupid manufactured culture war fucking distractions. Let's put a pin in all that. We can come back to all that. Let's find out why the CIA killed JFK. Let's find out why no bankers went to jail for 2008. Let's find out. Let's take a chunk of our privacy back from the Patriot Act and the million acts since then, which have set the precedent, which pretty much gives us zero recourse as a public citizen. By the way, I'm a private citizen. Private, right? The government should know nothing about me. They're public servants. I should know everything they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they've been doing that since like the beginning of government.
JFK died, probably, for sure. But yeah, since the beginning of government, you're right. But I think the meters, what do you call it? The scales have tipped. I want to know, like, listen, if they want to give me a digital ID, I want to test run it on all government officials first. I want to see every cent they spend, every second, where they are. And then, sure, I'll sign up for it after the government signs up for it. How about that? Digital ID.
Yeah, and I think just kind of piggyback on what you're saying is that I think the other way that, especially when it comes to like alien encounters and all that, the way that I look at this, and this was kind of inspired by a cousin of mine who came on our show who was in the Air Force, is that we're talking about the TikTok video. And I asked him, I was like, what's your opinion on it? And he said, well, think about from this perspective. If you're working with DARPA and you want to find out what the capabilities are, and you want to show off of, how many gazillion dollars you want for this product, what's the best way to test it? Against U.S. forces.
True.
So what
with
do you
defense
do?
contractors specifically, different defense contractors, right? Yeah.
So that's why. And I didn't think about it from that perspective, but it makes sense. And I think
made total sense. I had never actually really thought about it like that until he said that. So,
and whether it's true crime or conspiracy theories, I think that one of our problems is that we keep on looking at from one angle and we get stuck on it. And you don't think about it from that perspective.
People dig in, right? We talked about it. People dig in.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then someone blows your mind with something about like foreskin and
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Well, you blew my. That's a great point that your cousin made too, though. Like, who's the best person to see whether your new tech's working? Then but at the same time, it's Lockheed Martin anyways, so they got the shutdown switch to the American tech anyways, right? So
yeah. The other thing too is like, this whole releasing files and like releasing, Project Blue Book and all that. That kind of plays into that same narrative of like, oh, here's these, gazillion files that you can thumb through. They're kind of a pain in the ass to, go through in the first place. See, we're being transparent.
That's right.
Yeah, they want to be like they're preaching disclosure. They're like, look at us releasing, we're declassifying all these files that were classified for decades, and now look, here it all is. But it's a distraction too.
Well, and it's not even working. Everyone's so rattled by the state of the world. Everyone's like, I saw this one guy, there's this creator who's like, the aliens are real. And he's like, are they here to save us from you? And he's like, no. He's like, I don't care then. Like, you know, it's like people, they literally came out a few years ago and they said aliens are real. And no one fucking cares.
Right.
Like, that's the craziest fucking thing about all this. Like, I've been waiting my whole life. And I'll tell you this, Kelly, the minute the government told me aliens were real, now I don't think they are.
I don't really either. I heard a weird theory recently. I don't really think they're real, but I heard this weird theory recently about, you know, the universe, and it was pretty weird, but it was like saying basically that there is nothing else and we are the first, maybe. And there's a reason why, you know, we're not, I don't know why we really haven't made contact with aliens. And I don't know, like maybe we're the first. I don't know.
Or we're in the void. We're the only conscious entity that's ever evolved. That's an even more horrifying.
It's pretty scary.
But you know, when I say that, listen, I'm going to be real. Aliens are definitely real, and we are them. Like, we are a product. Have you ever looked into, like, you know, you want to get into the conspiracies and stuff, like, you know, we don't make sense on Earth. We're the only creatures on Earth that get sunburned. Did you know that?
Actually, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I guess you're right.
Yeah, and bad bats.
Oh my gosh. Oh wait. Yeah, because we're not from here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's all good.
Right.
Yeah, we're not from here, so we get sunburned.
I don't think so. And gravity, we're not supposed to have a bad back. There's no mammals out here that have bad backs. We're the only ones out here that get bad backs.
What about dogs? Sometimes dogs do.
Yeah,
have like a hip.
I don't know. I like to do. I guess maybe they do. They get bad hips. So
maybe we brought our dogs with us from the other planet as our companions.
No, I think you just shattered my little theory with that.
No,
I think
actually, no. I think I reinforced it because, like, dog is man's best friend, and dog and God are reversed. So, like, maybe we brought our dog companions to this planet. Something like that.
There's a great novel written by an Indigenous Canadian author that hits that with that topic. I'll send you. I'll remind me of that. I'll send it to you.
I will. Yeah. So, but basically, yeah, you think aliens are real. I came into this project Cameron and I are doing. I was like, they're so real. I don't know now. I'm really on the fence.
I've never seen one. I'll put it that way.
No. Well, Cameron and I both come from a true crime background, so I want to play one more clip from your page.
Let's go.
The true crime clip. Let's play that.
Wouldn't it be crazy if underground human trafficking and snuff film productions are the reason that serial killers exist? So there's this farm in Indiana, Fox Hollow Farm. It was purchased by Herbert Richard Baumeister in 1988. He died by unaliving himself after a warrant was issued for his arrest. He was wanted and the suspect of multiple killings. In 1994, his son found human remains in the backyard, called the cops, and they found some more human remains. So this was all in the 90s. Fast forward to now, and they have found 10,000 pieces of human on that farm. 10,000 different bodily remains. There were 7,000 or so remains found after 9/11, which led to about 1,500 identified people. So with 10,000 body parts, you're talking thousands of people, obviously, I feel like. Interestingly enough, it's very hard to figure out who owned the farm before Baumeister. Let's talk about John Wayne Gacy and John David Norman real quick. John Wayne Gacy, of course, is the freaky clown, actual inspiration for Pennywise. Now, after he was caught, John David Norman was caught with videos of John Wayne Gacy, doing stuff to these kids. John David Norman, who had been arrested multiple times at this point, was then discovered to be running some sort of underground snuff film / child video film business. And he had a client list of over 5,000 people. And 6 months later, you have the Toolbox murders, which again, filming, videotapes, photographs, all that stuff was a part of it. And of course, I haven't even gotten into Project Delta yet. Stay tuned for part 2.
I don't know what Project Delta is, so you're gonna have to fill me in on that first.
I can't even because I haven't finished the research
Okay,
yet.
okay.
So
Well,
what I can tell you is Project Delta is connected to the FBI, and it seems to have something to do with the one fella I mentioned there in that video who's connected to John Wayne Gacy. But I want to give just a little squeaker. And I'm literally going on Sean Atwood's podcast in 4 days to talk about this exact subject.
oh, amazing.
So
Oh,
great.
wow.
You guys brought
Oh,
that up.
that's so cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's a big one, right? Anyway,
Yes.
so John Philip Nichols.
Yeah.
John Philip Nichols. That name right there is worth a Google. Now, that guy had been charged with a multitude of crimes. He had gotten away with murder multiple times. But wouldn't you know it, he's deeply connected to the octopus
Epstein.
conspiracy.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
So connected to Robert Maxwell. So yes, what you just said is true.
That world is very small. It's very small, and they are all
the
connected.
Intelligence world. It is the world of allowing our intelligence entities, which were put in place during war times to keep our own citizens safe, turning against us because of the hubris and inevitable. What's the saying, Cameron? Ultimate power corrupts ultimately.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Herb Baumeister, I love the Canadian pronunciations of all the words. I love it.
What's that all about, eh? What's that all about?
Great. I just did an episode about Fox Hollow Farm and Herb Baumeister.
I had never heard of that stuff until 2 weeks ago, and it blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, he was the I-70 strangler, they think, too. And all the stuff you said, 10,000 bones. But, I just think he so there were a lot of bones, but I think there were.
It's one person chopped up into a million pieces.
It is, yeah.
I was going to say, how many people was that equate to?
It would be 94 people, I think, because there's 106 bones in the human body. So if they're complete, it would have been maybe 100 people, but maybe more.
Like when I say 10, they found the way that I read, the way I saw it is the 10,000 pieces of people, and however you want to put that. But the reason I brought in the 9/11 thing is because they found about 7,500 pieces of people, and that equated to, they say, 1,500 people. So that's why I kind of said it could be up to.
It could be. It totally could be. Or he buried a full intact human, and
or that place was some sort of weird fucking dumping ground body pit for snuff.
So there. Now I have not looked into the further things about Fox Hollow Farm, but I know there are connections to a serial killer. And you know what? I may be totally butchering this. But I have a friend who works in true crime who said somehow JonBenet Ramsey's family was loosely tied to Fox Hollow Farm because one of the family members owned it back in the day, or something like that.
JonBenet is tied to
so many things.
People will find a way to tie it to that case. I'll say that
That's
because
true too. That's true.
I've done a few episodes on it, and I actually had Julia Kelli on for one of them to talk about the ransom note, and the amount of just crazy conspiracies / it becomes one of those big political issues where you can't say I don't know what happened, or it could have been the parents, or it could have been an intruder. People are like, oh, it's the parents and you're stupid, and you know what you're talking about if you don't agree with me, that type of thing. I feel like it's so polarizing, but
well, that's funny.
One of those things that people will try to find connections to.
It ties into, they've tied their identity into their belief on that specific subject. So if you dare to, question them on it, it really shocks their system. It really upsets them.
Yeah, and that's one of those too that not to get off subject too much, but that I think that the way that the media influenced that case, and when you ask people, okay, why do you believe in such and such theory, they're usually going to say that they got their information from either Netflix, if they are an intruder person, or they're going to start referencing Larry King and maybe Geraldo Rivera. He did a whole trial and got sued. But there's definitely distinctive camps.
Let me ask you guys, what do you guys think about the O.J. Simpson case? Do you think O.J.'s innocent?
I really never thought OJ was innocent, but I've been hearing
Cameron's reaction got me laughing.
I don't even think it's close.
I'm gonna
be honest.
trust me.
He killed her.
The sun theory is really interesting.
The sun theory?
And his son
Kelli,
actually
I got
did
this. I'm gonna give me 2 seconds.
You do it.
Yes,
there's this theory that his son did it.
It's compelling, Cameron. I promise.
It really is. Yes, it is compelling.
It's compelling. Okay, sorry guys. I'm so sorry about that.
Turn your camera back on. Oh, there you go. Okay.
So here we go.
I thought you forgot.
No, so check this out. So OJ's not his son with Nicole, not his kids with Nicole. They were too young. It's his son from his previous marriage, who was about 22 at the time. He had been charged with a violent crime a year before. He was working at the restaurant where Nicole and Ron Goldman had their reservation that night. And so at the scene of the crime, you got to break it down. The scene of the crime, the knife was never found. They found a knife in O.J. Simpson's son's storage locker years after that may have matched the murder wounds. They also found a picture of him wearing a black toque beside a dog. Now, if you're familiar with the case, they found a black toque at the scene of the crime with dog hair on it.
And in American, that means beanie for all of you. If you don't know what a toque
I was going to ask
a toque. Yeah, sorry.
In Canada, they call it a toque.
Gotcha.
So that was one of the things Cochran said, is that OJ doesn't have a dog and there's dog hair on this too.
Yeah.
So on top of that, Ron Goldman's hands were completely battered, like he had been in a fucking fight. And Ron Goldman was a black level karate master. And OJ Simpson didn't have a mark. OJ, well, whatever. Sorry, he was a black belt, whatever the fuck. You know, he knew how to.
I'm just thinking about like my 13-year-old as a black belt as well.
Well, but OJ, Cameron, OJ had no marks on him. Right.
Additionally,
I thought he had some like cuts on his hands. I may be wrong.
So it's like, why the whole car chase thing? And I remember watching that at my Nana's house.
I remember exactly where I was.
Little TVs. Remember those TVs that were like this big and they had like the bunny ear antennas coming around? We were watching it on the kitchen TV, the Bronco chase. Why? That doesn't make sense, really, right? Unless you're trying to distract the officers from the fact that your fucking son killed your ex-wife, and maybe that's exactly what happened. I think OJ's innocent. I honestly, he's guilty. He's culpable as an accessory to a crime.
Exactly.
But
it is.
I think he covered for his son. I do legitimately believe that.
So well, what would his son's motive have been?
His son had a Jekyll Hyde disorder. You could call it schizophrenia, but there was a specific like I did a deep dive on it. So he was diagnosed with Jekyll Hyde disorder, which is basically bipolarism. So he snaps, his emotions snap, and he had been charged with stabbing someone the year prior. Anyway,
so that would potentially explain. Now, if you believe that the glove did not fit in the trial, which I think the glove fit. He was just like, oh, it doesn't fit.
Actor.
Yeah. But if you think it doesn't,
well, they had him put on 2 pairs of gloves too.
Yes, exactly. He's got the latex gloves, and that makes it hard. So yes, I think it would have fit. But if you think it didn't fit, potentially his son's hands were smaller too. So
that's also true. It's compelling. I've always thought it's compelling.
It really is. Yeah.
It's always fascinating to hear those theories though. And, I think that it's one of those that for, our lifetime, it's just so iconic that, those are like those memories that are ingrained in your life of like, where was I that day during the car chase? Where was I 9/11? Like those are definitely, where was I when Osama bin Laden was killed, unless you think he's alive.
Well, it permeates our pop culture, right, Cameron?
Right.
How many references in rap songs are there to O.J. Simpson? And all of them kind of reinforce this thing that, it's funny, eh? At the end of the day, they never let a good tragedy go to waste. It's like How can we make this a thing that divides America more? Well, it's a white versus black thing. Let's go. Let's push that to the brink, right? Whether it was or not, whether, you know, and it's like,
right.
That's the thing I keep saying this expression breaks my heart. It does break my fucking heart. At the end of the day, it's a human, you know, it's a human taking another human's life.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that showed, at least the public, is that if you've got enough money, you can get off with murder. I mean,
yeah, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. Yeah.
If he was just average Joe, he would have been convicted.
I think so. 100% he would have been. Yeah, that's facts. He wouldn't have had Johnny Cochran, that's for sure.
Oh, I mean,
And you know what?
that's just amazing speeches. You know, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Ignore this 99.9% DNA thing. Oh, that's just junk science.
Well, that would actually fall into the sun.
Look over here.
Wouldn't it?
If it weren't for that case, we may not have the Kardashians either, because Robert Kardashian was a huge part of that. So you just never know. Oh my gosh. Well, this has been an amazing night. Thank you so much, John, for coming on. What do you have to plug? Can you tell everybody where to find you on all the things?
Sure.
We'll put the links in too.
I appreciate that. You can pick up a novel, Confessions of a Middle-Aged White Man, if you enjoy, you know, satirical dark humor sprinkled with a little social commentary, maybe a little bit of horror. You'll dig that book. But I mean, my Instagram's where I'm at, popping. We have a YouTube channel. I've done podcasts. I did DMT with the guy who killed Osama bin Laden. Bryce Mitchell came on my podcast.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wait.
Yeah. We've done all these things. You know what's crazy, Kelly, is those things are like old now. I did those 2 years ago, but interviewed with Webby, Tim Kennedy, had a very frank discussion with Tim. Nice. So go check out my YouTube, News Updates for Real. It's News Updates for Real across the board. Cancelclothes.com. We just dropped a Greenland USA sweater you can pick up. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
You've also got,
and then if you're feeling more European, you can go with Maroon, Greenland, Denmark. You know, because I like to reach across the aisle. We're bipartisan here, but thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.